Hello, today we are going to see how WP Builder can help us scaffold a WordPress site and create a WordPress theme more quickly and efficiently. This is not a tutorial on WordPress theming, just how WP Builder can help us build a theme more quickly and efficiently. I've created a basic theme here. This is for an ice cream shop with just header, main content, sidebar, and a footer. Right now there's not really anything in it. There's no content other than the default pages that come with WordPress, welcome page. The theme just has a couple of quick styles in it. Functions file just enqueues my style sheet and adds theme support for thumbnails. I have a header.php that has my site name in it and a placeholder container for a menu that we're going to create. Footer, same thing, just a wrapper with container for my footer menu that's yet to be created. The main content, a container for a sidebar. So with that, let's get started. If we jump over to the plugins page, we have two plugins that need to be activated, CMB2 and WP Builder. So I'm going to activate those two. And we have a new menu over here, WP Builder. The first thing we're going to do is create a couple of menu locations. So in our theme, we have a menu location that we want for the header and for the footer. In WordPress, you can set different menus in different menu locations. Our header navigation is going to be one menu, and we're going to call it footer navigation. We've created our two menu locations, and we're going to assign different menus to each one. So let's start with the header. WP Builder provides us a little code snippet that we can copy and paste into our theme. So in the header menu, let's just drop in header navigation, save that, and then in the footer, we'll drop in the footer navigation. Okay, and then if we come over to appearance, menus, okay, we'll call this the header menu, and we just have a custom link to the home page. That'll be fine. And let's assign that to the header menu. And let's create a new menu. We'll call this footer menu. Okay. And then let's take a look at our theme. Let's see what we've done. We don't have any menu links in the footer, which is why we are not seeing anything down here. But on the header navigation, we have a home page link. Let's go back to WP Builder. Let's drop in a sidebar. So let's create a sidebar. We'll call this content sidebar. Sidebar to display on content. Now, WP Builder gives us the ability to change the markup of the widgets that are placed in the sidebar, so we can choose a div or an article. We'll just leave it at the default. We can also add a class, a CSS class, to the widget, and we can adjust the widget title markup. We're going to leave that as default, and we can also add a class to the widget title. But we're not going to do any of that right now. We're just going to create our sidebar. Let's expand this and we see the code snippet. Let's drop that into our theme. Come over here, main sidebar. So here our content sidebar appears, and let's put in a search widget. And let's see what happens. Okay, search for stuff. Since this website is going to be about ice cream, we want to create content that will describe ice cream. What you'll see on a lot of WordPress sites is people either using pages or posts to create this type of content, but this content is going to be different. Maybe we want to have a blog. We don't want to clutter our pages. And in a minute, we will add some structured content that's really only going to be applicable to ice cream. So we want to keep this separate. So what we're going to do is create a separate post type for ice cream. So I'm going to click post types, and let's add ice cream. Let's see here. We're going to make it public. You can leave your content type as private. We're not going to have an archive because ice cream never goes old. This option here, show and rest, if we wanted to enable the block editor on our post type, we would need to check that. But for now, we're not going to edit the block editor. We do need to create a slug. I think ice cream is a good slug. And these are posts that are ice cream. Now we can select some supported features. Title, yeah, we do want a title. We do want an editor. And we do want a thumbnail. But we don't need custom fields because we're going to do something different. Page attributes. This lets you do things like select parent ice cream or choose different templates. We're not going to create different templates for different ice creams, so we're going to disable that. Excerpts, we could have excerpts. Comments, I don't know if we want comments on our ice cream. For now, we'll just disable excerpts as well. Okay, taxonomies. We can enable categorization tags, any other taxonomy on our post type that we want to. In a minute, we're going to create a custom taxonomy for our ice cream, so we're not going to do any of that. Hierarchical, again, this will let you choose parent pages and that sort of thing. We're not going to choose, we're not going to choose any of these. We're going to make our capability types pages. And we could make it post, but there are some differences. I encourage you to read up on custom post types. We're going to use the default meta capability. And this just gives us an overview of our post type. And you'll notice that when we saved it, we got a new menu option over here called ice cream. And you'll see we don't have any ice cream, so let's add a new ice cream. So let's see our new post. Open in a new tab. And this is what we have so far. But why don't we see our image? Well, we need to add some code to our theme in order to see the post thumbnail. So let's just drop in, I've already written some code, so this will give us our post thumbnail. This is nothing to do with WP Builder other than we just enabled it, but let's see what happens. Okay, so now we have a picture of some delicious Dutch chocolate ice cream. Okay, now I mentioned that we want to have a taxonomy, what we would like to do is we'd like to categorize our ice cream by its flavor. We don't want to use categories or tags for flavors. We want to keep those flavors separate from other types of categorization. I'm going to jump back over into WP Builder. I'm going to create a new taxonomy, and I'm only going to show this taxonomy on our new ice cream post type. This is going to be flavors, and I'm not going to put anything else in here other than create a slug. So now we can confirm our settings for the flavors taxonomy. And then if we hover our mouse over ice cream, we see we have a new entry here, flavors. This is where we would see categories or tags, but we have flavors. So let's create a couple of flavors. Let's jump over to our ice cream, Judge Chocolate, and look, we now have flavors. Okay, now that we have added flavor to our ice cream, we need a way to show it on the theme. Maybe the easiest way to do that, you can show it any way you would show a custom taxonomy. So here's a quick snippet. So we're just getting the term list for our custom taxonomy, giving it a wrapper here and assigning it to a variable, and this will return false if that taxonomy doesn't return anything, and if it does, we'll just print out our list of terms. Ice cream flavors. We would like to show some nutrition information about our ice cream here. So what we want to do is we want to get some more information on our post type. We want some fields to capture some nutrition information. So how do we add extra fields to a post type? Well, there's basically two ways. You can use custom fields, which are basically arbitrary key value fields that you add. But you kind of have to remember what fields you've added to which post. A better way of doing this are through meta boxes. You can add meta boxes to a post type to capture information. WP Builder has meta boxes built in, and what we can do is add a meta box to our post type. So let's see how we do this. So let's click Add Meta Box, and I'm going to call this Nutrition Information. Here are a list of post types, and I'm going to add it to the ice cream, and I'm going to leave the rest of these as default. Context and priority determine where they appear. The meta box will appear on our post edit screen, but we'll just leave those as default for now. And then let's add some fields. Okay, so the first field we're going to add here is serving size. And let's see, let's make this a small text. Let's add another field, and this is going to be calories. small text field. You see there's actually a large number of fields that are available to us, and we can actually install more fields or field types. You can get these from the CMB2 GitHub page. You see there's actually a large list of extra fields. Not all of these are supported by WP Builder, but all of these last three here are supported, as is Font Awesome and a couple more. But we're going to make do with the fields that are already available. We've added a couple of fields to our nutrition information meta box. So let's save that. And when we click on it, we can see how to access those fields with these little PHP snippets. You can also pull them up in shortcodes, which is nice. Let's see what that looks like. Let's go back to our post, Dutch chocolate, and now we have 4 additional fields here. Let's enter some information. 6 ounces per serving. Just adding those doesn't actually give us anything. We need to get them into our theme here. So where do we want to put this? I guess we want to just put it below flavors. Okay, so I've pasted in this snippet, and now I need to assign my variables here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the values for each of my fields. I've assigned the variables up here, and I'm just checking to see if I have anything. Get post meta will return false if there's no value there. So if we have something, then we're going to print out a list item. So save, refresh, and there we have our serving sizes. Everything we've done here so far, you can absolutely do by writing code. WP Builder just uses WordPress's built-in APIs, just makes it so you don't have to write all of the hooks that are necessary to get this information, and in doing so helps you create structured content more efficiently and sort of do things the right way instead of putting all of this in either in the body or abusing other built-in features of WordPress. It just helps you do things sort of the right way. Now, to continue our shop here, I think it would be nice, a common thing is they're going to want to have some contact information. So their let's say their address and their maybe phone number, and they'd like to display that on all pages, not just the on a custom post type or in a post someplace. You could certainly hard code it, but that is not that doesn't make it easy for the site owner to come back and, if they ever move, then what, do they have to build a new website or pay a developer just to change their address? I find that a good place to put things like phone numbers and addresses is in the customizer. So where in the customizer would we add this? Well, we have this customizer tab. What we're going to do, we could reuse one of the existing customizer sections. Site information seems like a good candidate for this, but we want to create our own section for this. So let's create a new panel. So panels aren't required, but and then we're going to add a section. So we have the two core provided panels, and then our custom panel is in there. And then what we need to do is create settings. A setting is going to hold one and only one field. We'll call this street. And we have the option of creating either a theme mod or an option. As far as accessing it, it doesn't really make much of a difference. Get theme mod, to my understanding, just winds up calling option, pulling from the option table. So I'm not sure why that needs to be like that. Default value. You could do a default value if you know they're going to change this, but you want to fall back. But if you I think in the circumstance, we're just going to leave that out. So, street line 1. Okay. And the section is going to be address. We also have the core sections available to us. And the control type. So there are different control types available to us, but I think it makes sense to just use text. We could add a CSS class or placeholder, but we're not going to add any of that right now. Let's just add street. And then we'll call this one suite. Now, one thing with state, usually a lot of times you would find the state would be like a select list of all the states, and we certainly could do a select list. Let's see what that looks like. Select, okay, but then what we would have to do is add all of the states here manually. So in the US, 50 states. That just take too long for us. So, and then we'll add zip code. Created a panel and a section, and then a series of address fields. Let's add another section here. All right, so now let's go back to our customizer, and we have company information, address. Here's the address. So, we didn't, we left these in the section is the address. So let's edit that, and let's change our section to phone and email. Let's do the same thing with the email. And let's go back and customize. Now we have two sections here. So address. Okay, so we've published them, but we didn't add them to our theme yet, so let's see how we do that. We basically are just getting theme mods, so let's go over to our footer and address. And then, yeah, so once again here I am assigning each of these theme mods to a variable, and then I'm printing out those variables, formatting them how I want them to appear. Here's another example. This time we're getting phone number, and this would actually be phone. Phone and email. And here we go. We've added those. So, and they should appear on every page, and they do. Excellent. That was just a quick example of how we can quickly create structured content, custom post types, meta boxes, taxonomies, customizer fields, sidebars, menu locations, just a variety of things that would have otherwise required us to write hundreds of lines of code. It literally, all of this would be hundreds of lines of code that we would have to recreate for every theme that we create, every site that would need some kind of variations of, if not all, then many of the components available to us in WP Builder. That is it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and hope you enjoy WP Builder.